The mystery of the Incarnation. The Incarnation of God the Son is primarily for the salvation of the world. Salvation means the restoration of the world to its direct and unimpeded relation with God. As God made it, the world was very good, but evil came there in it. God, who made the world, is ever concerned and active to save it from the clutches of evil and restore it to the destiny for which it has been created. Incarnation is God's supreme act in saving the world. God the Son entered the earthly realm of existence in a unique way by taking over himself a perfectly real human life. This is incarnation, by which God the Father, who created the world through God the Son, and perfects it through God the Holy Spirit, manifests through the Son his saving work for the world and completes it in the Holy Spirit. As creation is the work of God, redemption is also God's work. God, who created the world, made man as a crown of creation, made in God's image and endowed with creaturely freedom and autonomy. Man seeks God and reflects on its human being. Made in God's image and endowed with creaturely freedom and autonomy, man seeks God and reflects on his being and nature. Through the wrong exercise of man's free will, there came on him and the world at large misery and suffering, as well as sin and evil. The salvation of the world, therefore, required preeminently the healing of man. It is this healing which the Incarnation is believed by the Church to have aimed to accomplish. In the Incarnation, God the Son united to himself real and perfect manhood. Perceived in her womb by Mary the Virgin through the work of the Holy Spirit, he was born in the world as a real man. At the very moment of his conception, through the operation of the Holy Spirit, a personal manhood was formed in the Virgin's womb. In union with God the Son, thus God the Son united to himself the manhood taken from the human mother and was born as perfect God and perfect man in the real sense. Jesus Christ, incarnate God the Son, is one person, continuous with Godhead and continuous with manhood. In him, Godhead and manhood continue each in its integrity and perfection, in a state of indivisible and unconfused union. On this ground, the Church of Ethiopia, with the other Oriental Orthodox churches, affirms that Jesus Christ is not two natures but one incarnate nature of God the Word. The one here is not meant to ignore the dynamic continuance of either Godhead or manhood in the one Christ, but to confess a real incarnation whereby God the Son entered the world of ours as a man. He led a life of unbroken communion with God. He was absolutely sinless, maintaining the union in the most inward and real sense. He entered into our battle with sin and evil as a man and fell a victim to our death. By his suffering and ignominious death on the cross, he scored a victory over the forces of evil. By his resurrection from the dead, he lives eternally in his natural unity with God the Father and God the Holy Spirit. In his unbroken and indivisible union with the manhood in Jesus Christ, then, we have the incarnate, crucified, glorified God the Son, who is himself our brother, signifying the final destiny awaiting the human race. Regarding the person of Jesus Christ also, there have been serious discussions in Ethiopia, but the Church holds to the view that he is God the Son in his incarnate state, born of God the Father eternally as God the Son. He was born of the Virgin Mother as a real man. There are a number of affirmations in the anaphora regarding him, as some which may be noted here. Jesus Christ was born of Our Lady Mary for our salvation. He who does not believe in his birth from the Holy Mary, let him be anathema. In this way, after being conceived in the womb of Virgin, God the Son was born as a man. By his conception, God the Son became incarnate, taking our nature. The Son, who was born of the Father without a mother, was born as a man without a father. He put on mortal flesh and made it immortal. He came truly into the world, clothed in the body which he took from us. His human birth was a unique event whereby God the Son came down through the will of his Father and was made man. His humanity was not inferior because he had no father to be born of his seed. This is incarnation whereby God the Son entered this historical realm in order to save it forever. In the incarnation, God the Son united to himself manhood and made it one with his Godhead, without mixture or confusion, without division or alternation. Therefore, his Godhead was not separated from his manhood, not for an hour or for the twinkling of an eye. God the Son came to us without being separated from his Godhead. After being born, he grew like an infant and grew little by little until he matured like a man. At the age of 30, he was baptized in the Jordan. He was tempted by the devil. He hungered and thirsted. He went about preaching the gospel of the kingdom of heaven. By this, who is perfect like God the Father, and his image walked among us in our image. He suffered passion and death voluntarily on our behalf for our sakes. He became hungry as man, granted food to many with very little bread. He thirsted as a man who dies. He changed water into wine as being able to give life to all. They bet him on the head as a servant, and he set free from the yoke of sin as Lord of all. He suffered all. He cured the blind with his spittle, gave us the Holy Spirit by receiving the spittle of the unclean. He who forgiveth sin was accused as a sinner by them. The judges of judges was judges by them. He was crucified on the tree to destroy sin, was crucified with the sinner to control with the righteous. He died through his will and was buried willingly. He died to destroy death. He died to give life to the dead. He was buried to raise those who were buried, to keep the living, to justify the impure, to justify the sinners, to gather together those who are scattered, and to turn the sinners to glory and honor. Such passages in the anaphora are too numerous to be reproduced or even noted in the present context. This will show that Jesus Christ was at once God and man without division or confusion. The same Christ, God the Son incarnate, expressed the divine actions as well as the man. He is one Christ in whom God and man are indivisibly united. As to the absolute reality of the suffering and death, there are passages almost without number. We shall reproduce here two of them, one from the anaphora of St. James of Sirach, and the other from the anaphora of St. Discorius. The priest who celebrates using the first of these two anaphoras says in prayer, O Lord, thou wast struck with the hands of a servant, beaten with sticks, pierced with a spear. They caused thee to drink a little gall with vinegar. Thou wast God able to prevent them. Thou didst not prevent them. Thou didst become patient even to death. All this thou didst accept for the love of men. The anaphora of St. Discorius contains the following passages bearing on a point at issues in the present context. The priest says there in prayer, He was laid in the manger of the cattle, received in the presence of his kingdom, wept as an infant to do, asked for food from the breast of his mother. As to suffering and death in particular, we have passages like the following. They crucified him on the tree, nailed him with nails, beat him on the head with sticks, pierced his side with a spear. To him who gave drinks to the Israelites from a rock, they gave to drink gall mixed with myrrh in his thirst. The immortal died to destroy death, died to quicken the dead, as he promised them with the word of covenant. Death was not the end of his dispensation. He rose from the dead, absolutely without corruption, and set us free from the yoke of sin. The risen Christ ascended into heaven and is with God the Father. He has triumphed over death and decay. These and many other passages in the liturgy shows that manhood. And many other passages in the liturgy show that the manhood of Christ was absolutely real and perfect, but everywhere the emphasis is on the unity of Jesus Christ. It is affirmed that he is God the Son in his incarnate state. As regards to the incarnation, it clearly shows that he was conceived in the Virgin's womb and that he was born as a real man. At the very moment of his conception through the Holy Spirit, actual manhood was formed from the human mother in union with himself. It is to him who was thus conceived that the Virgin gave birth. Therefore, Jesus Christ is indivisibly one. The two natures of Godhead and manhood came into union in him, continue in the one Christ, each in its absolute integrity and perfection, with its respective properties, without changes or division. Each of them continues in it, so that Christ is God and man at the same time. Church of Ethiopia, with the other Oriental Orthodox churches, has refused to accept the Chalcedonian definition of the faith, with the affirmation that Christ is made known in two natures. If by the expression the church which accept the definition mean only that Godhead and manhood continue in the one Christ,